The Travel Transformation Podcast is proud to be partnered with Give the Goodness Global, an amazing global outreach project helping families in need all over Southeast Asia and beyond. Please check them out at Instagram.com/Give the Goodness Global today. And now on to the podcast episode.
Welcome to the Travel Transformation Podcast, the podcast that explores the life-changing potential of solo travel, intentional travel, and location-independent working. Whether you're an aspiring digital nomad or simply want to boost your confidence through epic travel experiences, I'm here to motivate and inspire you to go after all your wildest dreams. I'm Jessica Grace Coleman, author, travel transformation coach, founder of the Travel Transformation Company, and your host for the Travel Transformation Podcast. Travel changed my life. Now let's change yours. You ready? Let's go. Welcome to the Travel Transformation Podcast, where we talk all things travel and all things transformation. I'm your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, and today is going to be a quick solo episode. I'm recording this from my bedroom in a villa in the Basque Country, which is a pop-up co-living experience that members of Sun & Co have organised for the second year in a row. I came last year too. And I just want to apologise for the sound because once again, I am not in the perfect conditions to record a podcast. My bedroom looks out on a beautiful vista of the countryside, but it's also right next to a main road. And they're currently doing construction work. I'm sure you just heard that giant lorry go past. They also have traffic lights right outside the house, so we get people stopping in their cars. We can hear the whatever music they're listening to in their car. Literally just before I started this, I went to press record and drilling started. And I was just like, oh man, we do actually have room that we use for Zoom calls and things like that. It's actually the best room in the house. It's this chapel, sort of converted chapel. All the big houses in the Basque Country, and I think maybe in Spain in general, if they're big enough and everyone was into religion in the house, they would have a chapel. And they've sort of modernized the chapel in this house. It has lovely pink wallpaper, but it still has some stained windows, loads of books. It's on the other side of the house, so you can't really hear the road as much. But this is kind of an impromptu recording and it's already booked out. So I will be doing a couple of interviews while I'm here. I'm here for a month. When I do those, I will do them in the chapel. So hopefully the sound will be better, but please bear with me for this episode. I'll try not to ramble on too long because I know it's kind of annoying to listen to podcasts when the sound isn't great. But this is life. I thought I'd just go with it. So I poured myself a cup of tea and I'm just going to do it. So please bear with me. Okay, so like I said, I'm in the Basque Country in Spain. I came here last year when they did the pop-up for the first time. The Sun & Co house is usually in Javier, Spain, and I've been there too. It's just a really great way if you're a digital nomad or even if you're like a freelancer, a student, someone who works for a company but can work remotely. There's loads of different people here, people who live in like a base and travel around a couple of weeks, couple of months a year, people who are constantly on the road, part-time digital nomads, full-time digital nomads. It's amazing. And we all work together, we live together, we do professional events together, we do social events together, and we just hang out and have a great time. And where we are is a little village about 10 minutes drive from Guernica. You might know that from the terrible time it had with the bombings and also from Picasso's painting Guernica. And there is like a replica of that in the town, like it has a nice mural. So that's where I am. There isn't a lot to do in the vicinity. There's like maybe 3 bars. One of them sells amazing cheesecake, although there's a whole story behind the cheesecake. Last year it was incredible, award-winning. I'm not sure if the same lady is making it. The first cheesecake I had here was a little disappointing, I have to say. Not as good as the OG cheesecake. The second one was better, so I'm just going to have to keep trying it and hoping it gets back to what I experienced last year. They did doing it for 6 weeks this time instead of 4, and 2 weeks have already passed and I wasn't here. Unfortunately, we'd hyped up the cheesecake so much that when the people went to try it in the cheesecake place, they were a little underwhelmed. So that's a lesson not to hype up your cheesecake too much. I'm here with people from all over the world. As far as I can recall, we have people from the UK, Iran, the US, Canada, Ukraine, Denmark, China, Slovakia, Brazil, Spain, Sweden, the Netherlands, Poland, and that's just this 2 weeks. A lot of housemates. It will change again and there'll be more in the last 2 weeks. And I think there's a few of us that are doing the last 4 weeks. So we'll get to meet new people. So there is one thing I need to talk about, but I am going to do a whole episode on this, and that is Colin the donkey. And if you follow me on social media, I'm a little bit obsessed with this donkey. It's just across the road from the house. I named him Colin last year, and I've come to the house this year to find that everyone is calling him Colin, which is great. But he does seem very sad. Like you can hear him braying, like hee-hawing all day, well, throughout the day. And then I hear him at night as well at about 2:30. And I don't know what's wrong with him. And he seems very sad when you go and visit him and then you leave. He will like hee-haw at you. We went in a group the other day on our walk to Guernica on the way there. When we left, he just started running around in circles and like braying, and it was heartbreaking. We never see his owners. We never see anyone with him, though we know someone is moving his tether around the field, but we never see them. It's all very mysterious. We are in contact with someone who's going to come and check on his welfare, hopefully, but I'm not sure how that's going to go. But poor Colin. And last time I went around the field looking to check if he had any water bowl and that kind of thing, and I couldn't see any. But the entire time I was walking around the field, Colin was right behind me, and I was looking at donkey behaviour about when they're stressed or when they're happy. And apparently they follow people around and like to be in close proximity to people they respect. So I think the love is mutual there. I'd like to think so anyway. He now has a bag in the kitchen with his name on it, labelled Colin. And we put like leftover stuff in there. I went and bought him some apples and carrots and put them in there. So whenever anyone wants to go give him a treat from the house, they can grab something from the bag and go and talk to him and hang out with him. And it's lovely to see him, but it's very sad. I think he's a very lonely donkey. I think he would like a nice field to roam around in, free-range donkey, and maybe a donkey friend as well. I'm going to do a whole episode on him because I'm really passionate about animals, helping poor defenceless animals who can't look after themselves. The thing is, like, lots of people have donkeys in the Basque Country, and that's maybe just how they treat them. But in England, like being on a short tether and not having access to water and stuff, like it's a huge no-no. So we'll look into it and see what happens. Anyway, it's Thursday today when I'm recording this, and I got to Spain last Thursday. I flew into Bilbao like I did last time. I actually came 2 days earlier, well, 1 day earlier, because there weren't any flights on the Saturday, which is when I could move into the house. There was one on the Friday, but it was at like 6 a.m, I think. And I am so over early flights. I can't do that anymore. So I came in the night before and paid another night for a hotel just so I wouldn't have to get up at 6 a.m. But it's funny, one of the women here, Kiana, I flew from Manchester. She lives in Manchester and she took the 6 a.m. flight. So if I'd taken that one, I would have been on the same flight as one of my housemates. And considering we're from all over the world, I think that's pretty random and pretty cool.
Are you ready for adventure? Are you ready to become location independent? Are you ready to create your ultimate dream lifestyle? Then I have just the thing for you. The Flip the Script Academy with me, Jessica Grace Coleman. My online academy, which is bursting with life-changing courses and resources, is for anyone who feels stuck in life, wants to make a change, would like more meaning and purpose in their life, wants to shake things up, especially after the pandemic, wants to start or grow a business or side hustle they can run from the road, wants to incorporate travel into their lives in all kinds of different ways, or is simply ready for an epic transformation. For more info, just head to traveltransformationcoach.com/academy. And now, back to the Travel Transformation Podcast.
Yes, I went to Bilbao. I am working at the same time. So on the Friday, I spent most of the time in my hotel room working, though I did go out for a little walk. I was hoping to find the erotic waffle shop that was there last time, and I didn't go in, and I regretted not going in. But sadly, it's not there anymore. And I did look it up, and I don't know if they've been cancelled because they had created a nativity display with erotic waffles. So you can imagine what baby Jesus looked like. And in a mainly Catholic country, I think a lot of people were very offended by that. And I don't know if that's why it's not there. But sadly, it wasn't there. So I went for a little jaunt. I went in some shops. I went to visit the Guggenheim puppy, which is a big puppy made of flowers outside the Guggenheim Museum, and the great big Guggenheim spider, which is a big sculpture, which is really cool. Got some pictures. And yeah, I just had a wander around. Then went back to my hotel room, did some more work. And then Kiana, who I mentioned, had flown in. So I met up with her in this nice plaza full of bars and restaurants. And we had pinchos, which are tapasy, but not really, like small plates with bread topped with tortilla or with meat or fish or anything like that. And they're really cheap and really tasty. We had some drinks as well. Tinto de Verano. I may have got that wrong. Also drank a lot of Calimocho since being here, which is half red wine, half Coke. It sounds gross, but it's actually really nice, but dangerous because it doesn't taste like alcohol. So we did that. And then the day after, I went around the Guggenheim with Kiana until it was time to meet up with people. After the Guggenheim, I met up with two of my other fellow housemates who were in Bilbao in the old town. We got an Uber to the house, and then we had pizza and drinks, got to know everyone and stayed up way too late and drank way too much. So the next day I was a bit hungover, and we went to a nearby fair in a cute little nearby town, and then we went on a hike
which I was not prepared for because I didn't know we were doing it. So I had completely the wrong footwear. And as I said, was very hungover. So that was interesting. But the view at the top of the hill that we climbed was amazing. I was looking out over the Bay of Biscay. It was all very, very cute. Beautiful views. I'm going to do a complete recap episode at the end of the month to go over everything because I've been making notes of what we're doing. But I just wanted to give you a bit of an update because I know people listen to this for ideas for travel and for motivation for travel and for inspiration of things to do. And co-living is a great way to do this if you have the opportunity to work remotely. Or even if you don't and you just want to come and learn from other people for a week and work on your own projects, that's cool too. Would highly recommend Sun & Co in general, and the pop-up is amazing. The Basque Country is really cool, and they do professional events. So this is only Thursday of week 1, and we've so far done a Playfulness 101 workshop where we did some really cool creative stuff. We have to make structures. 2 of the structures were Colin related. Everyone loves Colin. We had Colin's house and Castle Colin with a little picture of a little donkey, #FreeColin. We had joked about doing a Colin TikTok, but I might actually do it. If I had the time and I didn't have already a million social media profiles and this podcast to do, I would definitely do it. But yes, we have done Playfulness 101. We just did a little roundtable on ChatGPT and AI and all that good stuff and how we can use it for our business and personal lives. That was really interesting. So yeah, we have things called skill shares, which are kind of like workshop. We have roundtables where everyone gets a say and we can just learn from each other. And we can just pick a topic like ChatGPT and we can just have a casual conversation. And we have masterminds, which is where one person comes to the group with a particular problem. Everyone gives their input and their experience, and hopefully the person will come up with lots of ideas of how they can go about solving their problem, whether it's work-related or personal related or a bit of both, because often they're related. We had a mastermind on how to sort of trust the people you work with, how to delegate, how to outsource, how to do all that stuff. And I can totally relate with this. It's very hard to delegate and outsource things that you've been doing yourself for years, maybe. The process is in and out. You don't have time to do all the standard operating procedures or record videos or create playbooks and all that kind of stuff. So, and you always think oh, I can do it better or I can do it quicker, or what's the point in me spending weeks training someone when I could just do it myself? And it was all about that kind of stuff, which I think a lot of people in our group could relate to. And we came up with a lot of great ideas and perspectives on that. We also so far have gone on a walk to Guernica. It takes about 50 minutes to walk, but it's a really nice walk along a boardwalk, along the river. So that's our nearest town. A couple of people do have cars here, but generally, and there are buses and things, there are not many taxis. It took us a while to get back from Guernica after we'd gone for dinner and drink. But I kind of like being isolated a little bit. I prefer that. You end up bonding a lot more. We do family dinners 4 times a week, go into cooking teams, and I cannot cook for anything, but it was our night last night and we did a sort of taco night, Mexican night. Someone else is doing a Mexican night today. So we had to rebrand ours as Swedish night because one of the women in our cooking team is from Sweden and she says they love tacos. It's all about branding. But yeah, so you get to sit down and eat together 4 nights a week at least and have wine and talk about our day. And we started doing this thing called a rose and a thorn. So we go around the table at dinner. We each say what was the rose of our day and what was the thorn of our day. So what was the highlight of our day and what was the low light of our day. And it's just a nice way to recap the day and appreciate the things that went well and commiserate on the things that went wrong. Mine are usually Colin related, I have to say. Either it was nice to see Colin or it was really sad to say bye to Colin. So that's been really nice. We've been hanging out. It's really cool, actually. So I know the hosts from last time, but also I know 2 people in these 2 weeks from last time and 2 people in the next 2 weeks. The ones from this 2 weeks are Bjorn and Basil. Shout out, Basil, #1 fan. I know you listen to this podcast, so thank you. Well, apparently last year, the Introvert Club was formed, but this was before I met them, and I think I missed out on this whole thing. So this time, Introvert Club. So last night after dinner, we had it outside because it was a really nice day, and it was still really quite warm in the evening. And loud music went on, lots of people were dancing around, and the Introvert Club went inside and played Jenga, which was actually really fun. Half of the fun of this Jenga is that it's colour-coded, but the dice that you throw to tell you which colour to use is completely different colours to the Jenga. A mind exercise as well, trying to figure out the colours. But yeah, that's what I like about co-living. So you can go into, there's 12 of us, you can go into different groups. If you want to go outside and dance around and drink, you can. If you want to go inside, have a cup of tea and play Jenga, you can. It's great. If you need to go to bed early, that's fine. Get up when you want. It's all very chill. I hope this gave you some kind of idea as to what co-living is like. Like I said, I will do a recap at the end of the month, and I'm hoping to interview a couple of people while I'm here for the podcast. And it's just really great to meet people from all over the world, and also to meet people from all different backgrounds and who have all different kinds of jobs, because you can learn so much. We also do one-on-ones with people if we have a certain skill that we want to learn or want to teach people, with a one-on-one on how to start a podcast, for instance. And other people, like, you can just be talking to them and you'll figure out that their job is something that could really help you. And then they'll be like, do you want to do a one-on-one? And it's like a great thing, because like sometimes a one-on-one with someone, a coach or something, could cost you hundreds of pounds. And it's all about sharing your skills and learning from other people and giving back as well. So that's what I love about co-livings. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little quick intro episode to co-livings, to the Basque Country, and to update you what I'm doing now. Hopefully the sound wasn't too bad. I'll be back next time, hopefully with an interview. If not, it will just be me rambling about co-livings again. But yeah, if you have any specific questions about co-livings, about what it entails, about the stuff we get up to, about how you book it, about anything like that, let me know. You can DM me at Travel Transformation Coach on Instagram, or you can email me at info@traveltransformationcoach.com. Okay, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Travel Transformation Podcast with me, Jessica Grace Coleman. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review, and spread the word if you have friends or family who also want to transform through travel. For a chance of winning one of my books in ebook form, please review this podcast on Apple Podcasts and send a screenshot or just your name to info@traveltransformationcoach.com or at traveltransformationcoach on Instagram. I'll be picking a new winner each month, and you can choose between any of my non-fiction titles, including Write Your Life, Write Your Year, and Intentional Travel Transformation. You can find out more about me at traveltransformationcoach.com, where you can also get your free travel transformation guide. And until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.